Stigma. This is Star Trek Enterprise Season 2. I'm J-Man, the Enterprise shill. I was shilling like crazy for the last episode. I'm gonna have to shill again. I'm sorry, guys. I'm gonna review this using my space system. So story, pacing, artistry, characters, enjoyment. Each category gets a score between 0 being garbage and 2 being amazing. There's going to be many 2s on this one. Starting with the storyline, which I'm giving it a big fat 2 out of 2. Like, okay, look. Remember when T'Pol was assaulted by that guy who was trying to do mind melds and stuff? So you come to find out that mind melds are not really the thing that you're just doing all the time. It's actually looked down upon, and it's really not everything. It's not something that all the Vulcans can do. Only some of them can do it, and it's usually ones who embrace their emotions a little bit, and they're definitely looked down upon. I guess they're discriminated against as well. There's not really much to tell you, that they're discriminated against. If you're doing this act, it's considered highly against their culture of their logical thinking and all of that. So now T'Pol had a mind meld. It wasn't really her choice. Like, this was definitely led by the guy. She didn't know what was going on. So she's totally a victim in this situation. It's not like she could have she tried to get out of it after she figured out what was going on. So it's weird that I feel like she should have known about mind melds because of the stigma that's there, but she didn't really know what was going on. So she was fully assaulted in this mind meld way. She did not want to do it or didn't really understand what was going to happen. But through that, she has gotten a disease, and it's a Vulcan disease that you only get through either performing the mind melds or receiving them. So Phlox is trying to help her out, but he's talking to the council here, the whatever. They're like, well, we're not going to help you because we know how your friend got it, and that's the problem. That's the A plot. The B plot is one of Phlox's wives is hitting on Trip, and I'm just going to mention this part really quickly. That was amazing. It was so funny, and Trip's like, yeah. He's like, doctor, I think she's hitting on me. He's like, oh, that's great. That's so great. Yeah. Did she give you a bath yet? And he's like, wait, no, what? And he's like, yeah, I've got 3 wives, and she has 3 husbands, and and it's like, oh, and it's like, yeah, they have 2 or 3 wives, and it's just like, oh, okay, so he's just like, oh. All that stuff was hilarious. I'll get to the character section of that. The pacing, I'll give the pacing, I'll give the pacing a 1. Like, again, there's nothing exciting going on. You're not like, oh man, it's not edge of your seat crazy excitement, right? Like, you're not like, oh my God, this is like, so nail biting, but it's done very well. It breaks up the heavy stuff. So the stuff with T'Pol is pretty heavy, but then it breaks it up with a lot of the funny stuff with Trip and the girl. So that's really nice. So they do break it up, and it is nice. So I'm still giving it 1 point for pacing. It's not that exciting, so it's just difficult to really do anything more than that. For the artistry, oh man, I guess I'll give it a 1. Everything looks good. It's just mostly on the ship. That's it. There's nothing amazing to look at. There's some parts on Vulcan. Maybe I'll give it a 1.5. Yeah, let me give it a 1.5. I'll give it 1.5. I'm going to change my score. Here. All right. There's some parts where they go on they go to the planet, and there's like some shadowy things, and it does look pretty good. The aliens, like Phlox's wife looks cool with her makeup. So yeah, I'm gonna give it a 1.5. It did look good. Music was good. So there you go. Characters, a big fat 2 out of 2. T'Pol is great in this episode. She's really like super leveled up. Like, pretty much like after the first few episodes, it's like she starts to slowly level up, and they're really making her a really good character. It's tough with Vulcans. I happen to really love the Vulcans though, Tuvok and Spock and everybody. I do love Vulcans, so I do have a soft spot for them, but it is difficult, I understand, with the limitations of their characters, but it shows that you need to be a good writer to figure out how to do something with Vulcans, because she's great in this one. she doesn't even want to admit that she was assaulted, because she's saying, oh, if I was assaulted, they're going to just let me off the hook and say, you're all good, here's the medicine that you need, because it was involuntary. But she's like, yeah, but the point is that we shouldn't be discriminating against this section of Vulcans. Oh, so good. Archer, man, on fire in this one again too. He's great. One of the, oh man, I'm close to saying he's my second favorite captain. Obviously Kirk's the best, but Archer is so good. He's got a difficult task being this first guy out there. He's doing a great job. Just everything about him is awesome. The dialogue he has with T'Pol, he's like, why don't you just tell them? She's like, no, I don't want to tell him. He's like, okay, I'll go along with that. Even the Vulcan side characters were good too. The one guy who tries to help her out and speaks up for her, he was great too. Characters all great. Phlox's wife is absolutely hilarious. She is the damn funniest. She's awesome. And they're laughing at Trip like, oh, he's so nervous. And Trip is so funny. He's like, she's like hitting on me. And Malcolm's like, well, she looks pretty good. She's attractive. It's like, what? It's like, it's his wife. It's like, well, all that stuff is great. 2 out of 2 big time. Enjoyment factor 2 out of 2. Big time 2 out of 2. My personal opinion is basically that this is a 10. I want to just give it a 10 out of 10 and be done with the video. I'm going to give it an 8.5. I understand that there's going to be things where, well, this pacing is a little slower. I could even still give it a 1.5 for pacing and give it a 9 out of 10. I personally want to give it just a 10 out of 10 and be done. But to try to be fair to my space system, I do have to ding it where possible. So 8.5 out of 10 for this one. I think it's a fantastic episode. One of my favorites. Absolutely love it. Great. They dealt with a topic that was a very, very tough subject matter, and they did it in a beautiful way. I think it's awesome. 8.5 out of 10. Love this one. If you like my space system, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, check out the playlist for Star Trek. That's it, everybody. Until next time.